What's up, guys? Welcome to my new video, and it's gonna be on a tier list, a solo tier list for Siege for Season 8. So after playing for a while, I've come to understand that solo is definitely a lot different on how you should be playing or picking. So this is gonna be only for attacking. I will have a separate video for defense, if you're a solo player. So this, again, is entirely my opinion, but it totally can change. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone plays different. So, Ace was first. I accidentally moved him. Ace is automatically S tier. He's got claymores. His A12 is amazing. He's got breach opening. Ace is probably one of the best bets to go, in my honest opinion. He's just so viable, and you can never go wrong with an Ace on your team. Generally, there's no complaints that I can give for Ace. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass if, say, you don't have someone to get a wall, but you can always open another wall, or even, it's just, he's just really good, alright? Like, I'd recommend anyone going Ace, to be honest, if you want to go solo queuing. Now, Aruni's next. I think for solo queuing, she's D, almost E tier, bro. Like, she's already not the best by herself as it is, or like as a group. She only works really well if you can make a lot of noise, and if you're solo queuing, I don't think you should go her. Yes, she has hard breaches, it's good, but she's such a one-trick pony. It's very easy to counter, and I just don't think she brings a lot to your team as well. So I don't recommend. She could easily be E. I just don't think you should be using her as a solo queue op if you're solo queuing. I think Ashe is... So, she could either be B or A. I think as a solo queue, Ashe is an A. I don't think she's S, just because I think there's a couple ops who are a little better than her. But she is still amazing at what she does. Hard breaches, claymores, pretty much. And you can go wrong with the G36 if you want to use that. She is always a great op to use, so I do recommend using her, because you can't go wrong with an Ashe as a solo queue. You can hold your own in gunfights, you can watch your back with claymores. The only thing she can't do is open hard walls. That's it. But overall, she's pretty great. Honestly, you can't go wrong with an Ashe. Blackbeard, I don't think you should be using Blackbeard at all. I could argue he's even worse. The only reason why I can bump him up above Aruni is because at least with the shield, it gives you a benefit in that one-on-one gunfight. It's more situations for yourself, but I would not recommend using him at all as a solo queue op. Yes, he's got EMPs. Yes, he's got claymores. I think he has claymores, or is it breach charges? I just don't think he's that op that you should be using. There's so many better ops who are solo queue ops that I just don't see you picking Blackbeard. His gun is garbage. I don't care. 21 shots, slow fire rate. I just don't recommend using him. It's just he's a little better than Aruni when it comes to that. And next, I would say Blitz. I don't recommend using Blitz as a solo queue player. I just, like, if Blitz is a group, then sure. I could see him being a lot better. But as a solo queue, no, I don't recommend you using Blitz. He brings no intel for yourself, and you just rush in and die. So I don't really recommend using him, to be honest. Don't use him as a solo queue op. There's not really much else I could say about it. Yes, he's a rusher, but he's very one-trick. Next is Brava. So, I could argue Brava's a C or B. My problem is she is fantastic if you are not solo queuing. If you have a competent team, she will be lethal. But if you're solo queuing, I just don't think she's that type of op. I think she's very team oriented. I just don't think you should be using her if you're solo queuing. Yes, she has the fire, which is amazing, and she has the super shorty, which she could do a lot of stuff. But since I think she's more rounded about as a team operator instead of a solo operator, I just don't think you should be using her as a solo queue. Now, she's not bad for it. I just think there's other ops that are better, which coming up is next, Buck. Buck is also amazing. So I could argue Buck is an S tier, and the only reason why I don't think I will is because he pretty much can do everything Ashe can, but open hard walls, and I believe he can have destroy deployable shields. So yes, you could honestly argue he's S, generally S, but he has no way of watching his back And that's the one thing I can't see Buck doing, is that he can't watch his back that well. But he's so good at being super aggressive. You could argue he's an S tier solo queue up. I could argue it. I could. But I also don't think you should take him over some other op. A is not bad at all. These guys are great if you want a solo queue, in my honest opinion. Next is Capital. He is easy S. I don't care. He's got fire, can stop rotates. He got smokes. He can destroy walls. He can destroy deployable shields. He's pretty much Buck, but still better. He has more utility. He has the most utility in the game. The only thing he can't do is, open hard walls. That's fine. But, well, they're not hard walls, like Buck destroying the top and bottom. That's about it. But he is the most versatile op in the game. So, you can never go wrong with using Capital. He's super underperformed, and I don't know why. He is just so amazing. The amount of stuff you can do with him by yourself is amazing. Next is Dokubi. I think Dokubi's an A. You can't go wrong with Dokubi. Both her guns are awesome. Her utility is great if you ever want to push in. I just don't think she has a hard time opening walls or destroying deployable shields. She does lack on some parts, so I could argue she's a B. I'm going to put her at B, actually, because I think she's about the same thing as a Brava. I think she's just more team-oriented instead of, solo-oriented. So I don't think you should go her unless you have a team. She's great. I'm not going to argue. You could definitely use her. I just think there's other ops if your solo queuing is better. Finka is an S. You can't go wrong with Finka, honestly, for solo queuing. Just giving yourself buffs when you get pushed in. Yes, she doesn't have her frags anymore, but she's still very good. And she does have a little problem with opening walls or destroying deployable shields. But she's still, when it comes down to gunfights and everything else, she is still S tier in my eyes as a op who is a solo queue. I can't see how she can't be. Her whole thing can make her deadly. Her utility can make herself, whoever's using it, deadly as fuck. So, yes, she can't open as many walls or she can't destroy deployable shields. It's just that her utility is so good for being by yourself. I just can't see it not otherwise. Next is Flores. Flores, I love Flores. I've definitely started using him a lot more, and I definitely have changed my opinion on him a lot. I think Flores could be an S, but I don't think he is. He does have a problem with getting hard walls open, but his drone is very fantastic. It's very great. You can never go wrong with it. It's just I don't think he's as top as Capital or Ace. If I've been comparing him to them, I just don't see him on the same level. Generally. He's still fucking amazing. I love Flores. He is so fucking good. His AR-33 is one of the best guns, in my opinion, in the game. Don't care what anyone says. It is so good. And his ability is also amazing. It's just, I don't think it gets him to S. That's about it. Fuse is, honestly, I might start using Fuse more often, to be honest. And the reason why is he's got the A12. He has hard breaches. He's got fucking, he can destroy anyone on a wall, pretty much. I think I'm underappreciated of Fuse. I'm going to start using him, so this might be just a hot take on me. I think Fuse is definitely an A tier op. He could be S, generally because he can open hard walls. He's got ways to clear out objective, clear out bandits, mutes, cades. Honestly, you can't. For solo queuing, my opinion on Fuse definitely has changed. And I can't wait to actually start using Fuse, because I think he's going to be actually a lot higher than when I placed him before. It's just in the wrong hands, he's trash, but in a good hands, he's amazing. That's how I see it as. Glaz is probably D. Honestly, I don't think you should be bringing Glaz in a solo queue game. If you're solo queuing, I don't think you should be using him at all. Unless you're in a team, he's not the best. I could argue he's honestly E. He might be one of the worst ops to bring for solo queuing. But I honestly am going to put him E. I don't think you should be using Glaz. Yes, he has smokes, but he doesn't bring enough for a solo person by yourself to play him. I just don't see it. So I don't think you should be using Glass. As a team oriented and you have a well-balanced team, then yes, go right ahead. Use him. He's going to be amazing. Gridlock, in my opinion, is an S. Yes, she can't open walls, but she could stop roaming, cover you, and she has super shorty. Her guns are amazing. Generally, I think after playing with Gridlock a lot more for solo queuing, I've definitely seen a higher performance with her, and I don't think you should be sleeping on her if you're going to be going as a solo queue op. She's amazing. She's great. She does everything as she needs to do well, and she can help your team even if you're solo queuing. And she can help you the most. I think she is amazing for solo queuing and team base. She's definitely, in my eyes, an S tier op now, besides my other tier list. I think she's just S tier all around. Grim is a... I'm going to put an A. I think for a solo player, his bees will do amazing for you if you put him in areas. He's got the commando. Is he the best? So, no. But he's probably closest to B. I just think with the bees, he's very great for you if you're solo queuing. I think you can use that in a lot of ways to help yourself out when you're solo queuing. And he's just really good at that. I think that's what he does really well. So I can never say that you shouldn't go Grim if you're solo queuing. It's just... you gotta be careful because I don't think Grim brings a lot to the table as a team. But for solo queuing, I definitely can see how he's really good. Because if you want to help yourself and protect yourself, pretty much like Gridlock, it's just the bees don't... the bees aren't as good as they should be, pretty much. Next is Hibana. I think she's an A as well. The only reason she's not as high as Ace is I just think Ace is a tad bit better. He's got claymores. Yes, Hibana's guns are both amazing. I just think Ace is a smidge better than Hibana. And being a 2 armor, 2 speed, I just think it takes a little bit away. And Hibana doesn't have claymores. That's the only difference is Hibana. I don't believe Hibana has claymores. If she had claymores, I would definitely change my opinion. Ayanna is an S tier op, don't care. If you want to frag out, yes, she doesn't bring a lot to the table for your team, but if you're trying to play by yourself and do what you need to do, she is amazing. I would say use her. She's got frags, G36. There's no reason you can't use Ayanna and do really well. I recommend her in every way, shape, or form. Use her at your will. She is amazing. IQ is next. I think she's C. Honestly, as a solo queue op, yes, she has the commando, but that's fucking it. I really wish IQ was a tad bit better or more oriented for yourself. But she's just not. She's very underwhelming. And now people can say, well, the commando's amazing, but her utility isn't really that amazing, to be honest. It's very lackluster, and she doesn't have frags. She's got breach charges and claymores, I believe. I think those are the 2 things she's got. And it's just a little like, yes, she's got claymores. It's just her utility is underwhelming for a solo. Jackal, I think, is in the same boat as Dokubi. I think he's still great as a solo queue op. I definitely think he's really good. You can help yourself, but I think Jackal's more of a team-oriented op than a solo queue op. It's just, he's anti-roaming, yes, but his ability is more for teamwork than solo queue. That's why I like Gridlock a little bit more for solo queuing than Jackal. If this was team-oriented, then Jackal would definitely go higher. I just don't think he should be that much higher. Now, Kali... so, it depends on the map. For Kali, I don't think you should be solo queuing with her, but if you do... it should be for certain things if you're trying to get walls open. That's it, honestly. I could see, like, at least put her C because she's got more usability than a Rooney and Blitz and Glass in my eyes because she can open walls. And she's not the worst, but she's not the best. I don't recommend going her, but you can go her. That's how I see it as. So, I don't think you should go her as a solo queue, but you can. Now, Lion is an A. He could be the same way as Dokubi or Jackal. I just think his ability helps you a lot more if you're trying to push out or push in and cover up noise. I think Lion's a great op. I think he's still A for me in my eyes. I don't think he should be any higher than that. I don't see him being an S tier solo queue op in my eyes. I just don't see it. Maverick, I think, is also an A. His guns are both great. He can open walls. He's got everything he needs to make himself a good op for solo queuing. I just don't think he's got it enough to take him to an S tier. I just don't see it. Yes, he's great. I don't think I just don't see him being better than the other 5. That's about it. Monty, don't go Monty if you're solo queuing. That's an E tier. Like, you shouldn't be going Monty. He is team-based oriented. Do not go him. You're wasting your time. That's my opinion. Knock is S tier, and the reason why is she has hard breachers, frags, or EMP grenades, and she's very solo oriented. Her whole role is pretty much solo. She's fantastic at it. She's got a great gun. She's got the eagle. There's no reason you can't go Knock and do well with her as a solo queue. I don't think she's as good as some of them, like Capitol or Ace or Ayanna, but she's definitely on par with Gridlock in my eyes in a lot of ways. Nomad is also an S tier op in my eyes. Again, just being able for you to be able to protect your back is everything you need. Generally, that is all you need. So I think anyone with traps like that are amazing. You can never go wrong with her. Just be careful that you can't really open many hard walls. That's the biggest, or destroy deployable shields. That's the biggest problem with Nomad. But overall, she's amazing. I generally think she's really good at it. Osa is an A. I think Osa's only A. I don't think she goes any higher than that. And the main reason why is because if you're one-on-one with your shield out, you're getting beat every time. She's so easy to beat. When I see an Osa and she's by herself, I'm killing her every time with her shield out. But if she has her shield up, I think it's really good. So I just don't think she's the best for ST or solo queuing. Just in my eyes. She's just not the best, but she's great at it. Sense is trash. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yes, like her or whatever his gun is good. It's just her utility isn't that great, and that's my biggest problem. I don't think you should be using Sense over these other ops, but Sense isn't terrible to a point where it's like, oh, it's like not entirely useless, but she has some usability. That's it. I don't think she's an S tier or even B tier. Sledge is either an A or S. I could argue S. I'm gonna say S, just because he can destroy deployable shields, he can destroy walls, he's got frags. He's honestly one of the best noob-friendly ops to the game. I recommend anyone to use for solo queuing. I definitely don't think he's on par. So if I had to make I'll change this around once I actually put my actual opinion on their list, who are the best. But he is definitely great at being a solo queue. I don't ever think you should go wrong with him. Thatcher, I think, is an A. Yes, Thatcher's guns are both amazing, and yes, he has a great utility. I just don't think he's the best solo queue. He is great. Again, giant EMP grenade. It's just, he's not the best, and he's always banned, so it's like, good luck of even getting him. It's just, I don't think he's the best solo queue. That's it. I just, like, if you're not getting a wall with bandits on it, then there's no point. So, that's all I can say on him. I don't think he's just S tier for solo queuing. Therma is also in that same boat as A. He's great, and the only thing that's holding him back is he does not have claymores. They took it away. If he had claymores, he would be S tier for sure. But since Ace has claymores, that is why Thermite is just a smidge below him. It's just because he doesn't have claymores. Twitch is B. I think with her recent nerfs, you shouldn't even be going her. I just don't think she's that amazing, and don't go her. Overall, yeah, that's about it for Twitch. I don't really have another opinion. I don't think you should be using her as a solo queue, but she's not unusable. That's about it. Ying is A. I could argue Ying is S in my eyes in some ways, because I think she is, honestly. I was using Ying, and she's not bad by herself. I'm going to put Ying as an S tier, and the reason why is she has hard breaches, she has flashes, and she has a great gun. She's not the best solo queue, but I think she is so good in her ways of being just a solo queue op. You can't go wrong using her. So, honestly, she's great. You can never go wrong with Ying. You just got to be careful of blinding your own team members. Zero is S for sure. There's no doubt. Hard breaches, cams, destroy deployable shields. He is amazing. Probably one of the he's probably, in my opinion, the best solo queue. If you're trying to just solo queue, he got everything for a single person to make him a one-man army. And then Sophia is also an S. You can destroy walls, you can destroy the floor, you can destroy deployable shields, you can have grenades, you have claymores, she has a 7.62. Sophia is amazing. Now, if I had to put this in an actual list, let me do this really quick, I would probably put 0 top, then I would probably put Ace, then I would probably put Sophia over Capital, then I would probably put Capital, then I would probably put Ayanna, then I'd put Gridlock, Nook, Nomad, and I think Finka's on the same level as Nock. These three are like about the same level. I think you could move Capital behind Ayanna. I just think he brings so much to the table for a solo queue up that he's just... And I think that, right there, that's my list for the S tier. This is Zero's best, Ace is second, Sophia's third, Capital's fourth, Ayanna's fifth. And everyone else I think is amazing. A, I don't really need to do, but if I had to do it, I'd put Buck here. Hibana here. Flores in a good spot. I think I would definitely put Grim here and probably put Ace, Thermite there, Lion there. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's what I would probably put it as. Just because, I don't know. It just depends on the op, I guess, you're picking and what you're trying to do. But you can never go wrong with anyone on A or S. I just think these S ops are just the best for solo queuing. That's it. There's no other opinion on it. I just think for solo queuing, these are the ops you should be going. And, like, consistently. But if you want to switch it up and click someone who's an A, who still brings a lot of versatility, then go these ops. None of the A or S tier ops are bad in any way. I just think they perform a little bit better. That's about it. And then don't go anyone D or E. Don't go them. They're kind of useless for you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My defense one will be out, and I hope you guys watch that as well, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Deuces!